Hey everyone, this is TJ Lee, and if you are joining us from the recently posted farmhouse story on Dark Somnium that I was in charge of, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. This is Dusklight Radio. This is my channel dedicated to all things Sturgeon, the universe that I have been writing for 5.5 years. That might include the Bar series, the Nightmare Fighting Tournament, the Last Sin Eater, and it also includes other small stories around there that you may have heard on Dark Somnium, Romnex, or even Spirit Voices. Speaking of Spirit Voices, she's the other half of this channel. She's providing some of the narrations when I've been busy, been away, but also provides all the transmission-based intros that you hear, because this is an in-universe radio station. And I would think of it like Welcome to Night Vale. We really try to make anyone who comes along feel like they are immersed in our universe, and if you sign up to our Patreon, then you get shout-outs in those transmissions. But if you don't, that's also completely fine. We also have a Discord if you want to join the community and hang out, but I just wanted to make sure you all knew what you were getting into. If you don't like the long transmissions, if you find them a bit off-putting, there are timestamps in every video so you could skip ahead. I should also mention that we do stories that are a little bit more unusual. I'm very into my experimental fiction, and obviously this is a queer channel. We don't make it everything about us, but it is something that we find quite important, and it is included in some stories. All I ask if you don't like it is that you're respectful. Lastly, we also have a D&D show based in Sturgeon called The Nightmare Detectives. It goes out every Monday, and it will continue until the show is over. The full show is already on Patreon. I really hope you like it. I think it's some of my best work. It's just good for binging if you have a lot of driving to do. Beyond that, I really hope you enjoy your time here. That's it from me.
Most heartfelt greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlethems. I eagerly welcome you to Sturgeon's most premier station, Dusklight Radio. While my twin brother Everett is on sabbatical, I will be your host, the sumptuously smooth, overtly optimal, and horrifyingly humble Evelyn L. Blackwell. Thank you all for having me. Perhaps you know of us Blackwells? We were responsible for hosting the first Blackwell family pet adoption to ever grace Sturgeon. Oh, listeners, it was adorable. We had all kinds of rescued pets from all different corners of Sturgeon, all ready to be adopted and brought to a good home. There was this husky puppy with just the cutest little tentacles that Kaio brought in, a giant sandworm that Tabitha rescued from the mines, and Jackal. He didn't bring anything in, he was just up for adoption. He found a great home though, and he was just the cutest. My personal favorite though was Spot. He had an all-black coat, a fiercely loyal attitude, and was so cuddly. Once he had you, he'd never let you go. I almost took him home, but unfortunately I just didn't have the space for him in my house, nor the money for his insatiable appetite. But if anyone does want a 30-foot black hole, Spot is still up for adoption at your local animal shelter. Simply envision how fun it would be to pinch his whittled cheeks, and your application will be submitted for review. Anyway, I am not Dusklight's main host, but today I am its mostly dead counterpart. I'll be reading you tales that Everett and his wonderful many-legged runners collect from the far corners of Sturgeon and beyond. Some of them will make you laugh, some will make you cry, and some will wrap you up in a few blankets, tell you that they love you very much, and go and make you some hot cocoa, fresh out of the pot. Now, listeners, I probably shouldn't be too surprised by this by now, especially after Clue's appearance last year, but it seems that I've got a visitor here at the station. You see, there's always been a tale of a creature that stalks the woods of Sturgeon, a large, lumbering thing, covered in leaves and moss, intertwined between large tree branch limbs and bones to form hollow pits in between. This creature has somehow been seen in every forest there is, and has been known to just appear there often with some sort of animal in tow, to prey on the vulnerable people who are lost or injured. And sometimes, if you listen real close at night, you can hear the wind whistling through the parts of its hollow body, its trembling, shambling form moving ever closer. Well, at least that's what all the ghost stories said. I used to hear that one around the campfire dozens of times when I was a kid, especially from the other black whales because, technically, he's supposed to be one of ours. A second cousin twice removed or something like that. You know, not all nightmares are real, of course. But, well, you're not gonna believe this, listeners, but this creature is sitting in the lobby of our station waiting patiently right now. Oh boy, Everett sure does attract a lot of lost family members, doesn't he? Or, oh god, maybe it's me. Oh, but either way, he showed up earlier this morning, right before you all tuned in. He looks exactly how the legends describe, with an iron lantern in one hand and a crow on their shoulder, and told me through a series of groans and clicks that their name is Vin, and they were looking for directions. Nearly scared me half to death, but, well, who am I to turn down family in need? We have a code after all. No black whale left behind. So I'm going to attempt to show them where to go, for better or for worse. And while I do, I'll go ahead and put on a story for you. Our story today is called You Don't Have to Go Anywhere to Find the Most Terrifying Place in My Town. It Comes to You by r/jamfrans on Reddit. Show them some love in the comments below. It is being read by an amalgamation of spirits collectively called Lucy K, who have all been playing Stardew Valley in shifts for like 8 days straight, screaming, "We'll sleep when we're alive," and, frankly, using up a lot of the station's Wi-Fi. Special thanks must be given first to Mandy Moe for rendering my brother Everett in the beauteous image you see when you look at our page. Really, Everett? Beauteous? To Nishin on Twitter for gracing you all with my spiritual beauty, and to Sir Gorky for the brand new rendering of Everett and the truly accurately horrifying rendition of our humble studio. We also thank As the Raven Dreams for our thumbnails, Dark Somnium for being such a gracious yet terrifying sponsor of the channel, and, lastly, our music is sourced and provided by Epidemic Sound and the Dark Somnium with gracious thanks. If you enjoy these intros and want to see more, please ensure you've got notifications on and leave a comment for every video you encounter. With that, the sun has set and dusk has crawled into the station once more. Whether you're working, prepping to sleep, or evading the formless void that will one day consume us all, Blackwell is here to soothe your ears and captivate your soul. Now, close your eyes and take a deep breath. The scene has been set and the light is on. It's time to walk towards it. In my town, the most dangerous place is the abandoned Macy's department store. The basement, to be more precise. It's not easy to find, but people still manage to, mostly by accident. You are perfectly safe, as long as at least one of your feet stays on the stairs. You're supposed to just go back up, and eventually, it'll move on. I'm not sure how many people have found it. Lots of people claim to, but it's hard to verify. Those that do take both feet off the stairs, well, no one hears from them to find out what comes next. Most of them probably end up listed as a missing person. That's why I'm writing this. I want people to know what happened to my sister and my friends, And if I can't figure something out soon, to me, too. I want to share what it's really, truly like down here. I know, it doesn't sound that bad. A basement full of abandoned clothes and items, with no windows, so the darkness is only broken up by smatterings of flickering lights, where if you listen closely enough, you'll hear another set of quiet footsteps, always just behind you. But trust me, it's the most terrifying place I've ever been, and I'd give literally anything to leave. The store sprawls on for what must be miles. It's overwhelming in its vastness, yet not an inch of it is safe. Something pursues you down here, or maybe even multiple somethings. It's hard to tell. I can guess what you're thinking. A department store that people disappear into, that'd be shut down in an instant. Yes, you're right. And it was, back in the early 2000s. It used to just be a normal store. People shopped there for years without incident. But then, something changed. No one is quite sure what caused it, but one day no one that stepped into the basement ever came back out. Once it became apparent that there was no hope in saving those that were lost, the whole place was eventually torn down. As you can probably guess, that's not where the story ends. The basement still manages to claim people. The only difference now is that you don't go downtown to where the old Macy's used to be and take the escalator down to get there. Now, at least in my town, any escalator, elevator, or set of stairs you take down could bring you down here instead of where you were intending to go. It doesn't matter where you are, or where they usually lead. One of my classmates once claimed that he was just going downstairs in his house. But upon reaching the last step before the bottom, instead of his living room, he was staring into the basement of the store. I believe him too, because his story lacked the bravado of others I've heard. You could tell he was deeply afraid. He also mentioned things that I now know to be true from my own experience, like the smell of old and decaying things, the odd stale breeze that emerges like a sigh from deep within the windowless store. There are some steps you can take to increase your odds of finding this place, but I'm not going to share those here. I don't need that on my conscience. For my entire life, it's just been a given that you always have to be vigilant and pay close attention to where you are, because rumor has it that if you take both feet off the stairs, you're stuck here forever. It turns out, it's not just a rumor. There were 5 of us before. We had tried so many times to find this place. My sister and I were fascinated by the stories, as were a few of our friends, and wanted to see if it was real. Most of us were curious, but my sister Maddie, she was straight up obsessed. If we found it, we weren't going to actually go in, Maddie had promised me. We tried several times before, but we were successful a few days ago. We went to the top floor of Keith's dorm and went down so many flights, but eventually, somewhere around where the 4th floor should have been, we finally found it. Rows upon rows of decaying clothes and random items greeted us, for as far as the eye could see. The weak overhead lighting only illuminated so far into the distance. After that, it was just blackness, but you could feel the vastness of it. It was breathtaking, and not in a good way. A soft moan could be heard from just beyond the threshold, but we couldn't see the source. Maddie wanted to put her hand through, she said, to snap a picture. She did, and it came back a pixelated mess. She was disappointed and put one foot down onto the basement floor to lean in for a better shot. When nothing seemed to happen, she got bold and put both feet down. She turned around to grin at us, but the smile instantly left her face and was quickly replaced by what seemed to be a mix of fear and confusion. Her eyes widened and darted back and forth as she searched around frantically. She called out, and I waved my hands and yelled to her. I was just inches from her, but when I reached out, I couldn't touch her. She didn't seem to hear or see us, but she seemed to catch a glimpse at the source of the moaning. I'm not sure what she saw, but whatever it was, the sight of it caused her to take off running with an expression of pure terror on her face. I could sometimes see her as she ran through the lit portions, but none of us could see what she was actually running from. Angie, Keith, Sky, and I went in after her. Mary ran back up the stairs. That's good. It means Mary probably survived. That was a while ago, a couple of days. Now it's just me and the quiet footsteps that follow me through the aisles. It's funny, I used to think that the scariest thing in the world would be being chased by something just a bit faster than you. You turn back and you see it coming and just can't outrun it. But I've since found from recent experience that what's actually scarier is something that doesn't need to run after you. Because you can keep going and going and going, but eventually you'll run out of energy or become cornered. And it knows that. You just hear the slow, deliberate, wet slap of bare flesh on the linoleum. It doesn't have to run. Eventually you will fall, and it will take you. Distance doesn't seem to help. It's approached me from directions that I would have thought impossible. Once it was far behind me and then suddenly pursuing me from the front. That was the one time I saw it. Just a glimpse of details as it emerged into a dimly lit portion of the aisle. I hope I never see it again. I'm still holding out hope that dehydration gets me first. You can't tell day from night down here. There are no windows, just weakly flickering fluorescent lights in some areas and a darkness unlike anything I've seen before in others. It's disorienting and makes it so easy to imagine what must be lurking in the shadows just out of sight. I'm grateful I have my phone with me. Before now, I just used it to check the time or illuminate pitch black areas and turned it off to conserve the battery. But when it finally sunk in that I was never leaving, I started writing this. It's been comforting, in a way. This store is massive. It's got to be tens of miles, if not more. I've ran and walked off and on for days, and I've yet to find the end. I've stopped calling out for my sister or our friends, not because I've lost hope of finding them, but because I know something else already did. At first, I'd been relieved when those footsteps finally veered off in a different direction and began to fade into the distance. I was so grateful for the chance to stop and rest that I didn't even think about what it meant at the time. Until I heard the screams. Far enough away that there was no way I could help, but close enough for me to hear everything. As bad as the screams are, the sounds that come after the screaming stops are always far worse. New people seem to join me from time to time. Sometimes I hear them. Once or twice I've seen them. I guess they took both feet off the stairs as well. I wonder where they came from, my town or somewhere else entirely. But we're never close enough to ask, and I never risk shouting here. I've been down here long enough now that I've started noticing certain things, and the more I notice these details, the more they unnerve me. For example, the store and items within it seem to just grow and grow. For everyone that disappears down here, the store seems to grow just a bit bigger. The clothes and housewares I've ran past, if you take a really close look, you'll see they aren't quite right looking. The textures are all wrong. They aren't made out of fabric, plastic, or metal. Everything in here is made of something else, something more familiar. Now that I'm looking, I've noticed that the clothes seem to sigh with something like resignation under my touch. It's never truly silent down here. I've developed a theory. maybe I'm just losing my mind, but I'm starting to suspect that there is no such thing as death down here. Maybe just deconstruction and remaking. I'm worried that I may find out very soon. I'm so tired. I don't even have the energy to sit upright, much less continue onward. I hear the sharp sound of a hanger slowly sliding on metal as it searches for me under racks of clothing. I hear the footsteps far too close for comfort. I'm hoping that in sharing this, it will encourage more caution in others, and maybe prevent a few thrill seekers from following in our footsteps. If you find that a perfectly ordinary trip down some stairs suddenly leaves you staring into this dark expanse, please just go back to where you came from and don't look back. Please don't take both feet off the stairs. Welcome back, listeners. The mystery of staircases is a tricky one, and I completely understand this author's pain. I've never seen the Macy's basement, but every once in a while, the staircase in my home leads me down to the Popeyes on 32nd Street. And honestly, I can never resist getting me some chicken biscuits. But it maybe seems like this one is just a little higher stakes. Maybe. Oh, before you go, a quick update on Vin. We talked while I got them where they needed to go and how I've learned a lot, listeners. It turns out they may not be quite as scary as everyone thinks they are. You remember how I said he preys on the lost and vulnerable people and animals in the woods? Apparently, according to him at least, he does no such thing. I only try and help through a collection of whines and low, guttural howls. But people run away from me. I have dozens of remedies for any injury, and I know all the woodland paths by heart. And then the crow on his shoulder, whose name I believe was Kiwi, started singing a truly provocative ballad that brought tears to my eyes. And then we got to the bank. That's where Vin needed to go. Apparently his credit card expired some 3,000 odd years ago and he needed to get that renewed so he could buy a popsicle at the corner store. It was a whole thing, but anyway, I know the feeling of being misunderstood very well, listeners. I mean, hell, once in college I was burned at the stake for witchcraft, and they were right, of course, although I think they were just jealous of my spells, to be honest. This feels pretty similar to that. So what I'm saying is, I sympathize with Finn, and as I said, there's no Blackwell left behind. So I invited them to inhabit the woods behind the station for a little while, just to have some more family nearby. I'll be sure to update you on the situation, as or if it progresses. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of our other transmissions. We are adding them regularly, and we'd love to have you as a part of the Dusklight family by subscribing, hitting the bell of all the orange peels left behind, and leaving a comment with stories you love for Everett's many-legged runners to find. Without further ado, let's thank our lovely Sturgeonite faithfuls. 21 Keys, Ashabel, Erodice Rx, Haley Clark, Jack the Lad, Jason Webb, Laurie W., Nathan Billings, PRDEL12, and Sabrina Alexander. Purple Crayon Eaters Alex, Amara, Candyman Gloving, Feeny Von Karma, Max, Mike, Pesky Opossum, and Fi, who have amassed a, quite frankly, atrocious number of the other crayon colors and have started capitalizing on that fact. For just one small fraction of your soul, they can be yours today. Janitors _Ducks, Alex Nunez, Amy Sean, Arkham Cookie, Death31, Heather Cayley, Jalara, Joy Flint Healy, Melanie Schaefer, Sabby Eclipse, Shane Lewis, and Scott, who have been meticulously cleaning every single pebble on our front porch. It's been taking them a while, and there's now a lot of dust in here. Our nightmare detectives, Adrian Rodriguez, Delara, Ethan Nelson, and Fox Clifford, who have finally invested in a coffee maker and have seen productivity go up 300% as a result. Oh, no, actually, sorry, it's gone down 300%. Apparently all they're doing is standing around experimenting with different coffee flavors. Pretty sure I just saw a thief run right by him. Our Void Walkers, Josh Woods, Professor Creepypasta, and Val Was Taken, who have harnessed the power of the stars this week in order to give me my horoscope. It reads, it just says here, outlook not so good. And of course, our Blackwell family members. Our new addition, Ven Blackwell, who left his lantern behind in the studio and now it seems to be emanating some ominous yet strangely cute bat-like chitters. Clue Blackwell, who has recently learned how to levitate all the furniture in your house one by one, and does so every time you're not looking directly at them. Tabitha Blackwell, who has been making little sculptures made from clay and depositing them in the alleyway next to Big Chewy's House of Munch. I found one that looked like a porcupine the other day. At least I think that's what this is. Jackal Blackwell, who's been taking up some night shifts as a sleep paralysis demon as of late. If you see him, make sure you say hello and, sorry about that. And our Lord of Blood and Bone, Papa Kyle Blackwell, who is slowly working on developing his canine tooth collection. I don't want to ask any follow-up questions as to how he's doing this, so I won't. We love you and fear you, Papa. We thank you humbly for your patronage and look to see you bright and early for Dusklight orientation. Purple crayons and existential dread will be provided. If you want to be a patron, we have a link in the description below, as well as the link to our channel's Discord, which you can join to be a part of the Dusklight community. I'm in there sometimes to say hello, so definitely come stop by. And one last time, listeners, close your eyes and breathe with me. No matter how bad things are, how cruel people can be, and how heavy your shoulders may feel with the weight of the world bearing down on them, Dusklight will always be here to lift the load and provide you with some respite. Drink a fruit punch Capri Sun, have some dino-shaped nuggies, watch a video about foreign food unboxings, and sleep on the cool side of the pillow with the window open and the stars twinkling down on you. Start and end each day with kindness in your heart. You matter. You are loved. And every day is another chance. I'll see you again when the sun sets and dusk enters the station.